No, you are a fan if you're out here today at Kenan Stadium because it is raining everywhere and all day with the wind. North Carolina wants to go to 3-0 in the ACC. Virginia Tech wants to go to 2-0 in the ACC. It's a critical matchup between two top 25 teams. Yeah, the weather outside is frightful, but this football game could be delightful. North Carolina, Virginia Tech, right now. ESPN College Football presents the ACC on ESPN, a matchup of two top 25 teams, one of only two in the country today. Number 25, Virginia Tech at 1-0 in the ACC and 3-1 overall. Number 17, North Carolina, 4-1 and 2-0 here at rainy Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. I'm Dave Lamont along with Ray Bentley and Alex Cordry, and we do mean rainy, partner. So how do you handle these conditions?
Well, the number one thing is ball security. That's always the number one thing, but today it gets a little more tricky. We'll see what happens with that slippery pigskin.
We do have it easy up here. Alex Cordry, not quite so much. Alex, what is it like down there?
Hey there, Dave and Ray. Well, we might be seeing some heavy rain right now, but you guys, we haven't seen much damage to the field just yet. Take a look at my rain boots here as I'm stomping onto the field. It's a sand-based turf. They actually have a draining system underneath the field. It can drain 10 to 12 inches of rain per hour. Now, talking to some of the players on UNC, they say they practice outside in these elements. They're ready for it. They're feeling confident, and I had a chance to catch up with Isaiah Ford from Virginia Tech. He told me when he came out here to warm up, he said, guys, I like it. It's fun. And actually, last year against ECU, it was even worse. Dave?
All right, Alex, I would say stay dry, but that's utterly impossible. And the weather forecast, this is sort of the side of Hurricane Matthew, which hit on the South Carolina coast earlier today. There we are in Chapel Hill. Eventually, this is going to wear out. But for the time being, no. It's been raining hard since about 9 this morning. Factor in some gusty breezes, at least 20 miles an hour, occasionally higher. And that's what we're looking at for right now. Larry Fedora, the head coach at North Carolina, has done a tremendous job here. Has this team in a position for back-to-back division championships. Virginia Tech has a new boss, Justin Fuente. And he has done a 3-1 start. The only loss was that big game of the Battle of Bristol against Tennessee. He had a great run at Memphis. Left that program in good shape. And now in Blacksburg. Greg Stroman standing by. Very dangerous kick returner. We'll see what happens in the kicking game today. Look at that. We get a touchback is what we get, and we'll start at the 25-yard line. We'll take a look at the junior college transfer, Gerard Evans out of Dallas, who's had an outstanding season so far. In fact, Ray, we have a unique moment in this game, a unique statistic. We have the only two quarterbacks in the country with at least 13 touchdown passes and fewer than 2 interceptions.
Yeah, and those interception things might change today. However, the thing about Evans is he is an outstanding carrier of the football, and that is a big part of Coach Fuente's offense. He's a large guy, 6'3", 238-pounder. I expect he'll get his share of carrying the football today.
And he's going to take off right now, Evans, and he's not fooling anybody. North Carolina led by Cole Holcomb, the one-time walk-on. Number 36 stops him for no gain. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, Evans, he has to double clutch the football, and it's going to take a little bit of getting used to. That thing can just pop out of your hands. I'm calling for 2 hands on the ball at all times if you're a quarterback.
Makes the handoff to Rogers. Going to throw it toward the sideline. Was he inbounds to make the catch? No, I didn't think so. That was Bucky Hodges, who was out of bounds along the far sideline. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, Hodges drifted. He didn't really have to move, but the throw is late from Evans. And you see he just kept drifting and drifting. And that's a mistake by Hodges because that ball could have very easily been caught inbounds. And now they face a 3rd and 10 here. And this is when Carolina likes to bring pressure.
Because of the conditions, admittedly, we don't have a full stadium here, but those that are here, at least in the Carolina blue, are on their feet. The ball comes loose, and Evans pounces on it. That'll be a loss of 6 and time to punt for Virginia Tech.
It's difficult for everybody to handle the football. I don't know if this was a snap deal from. No, the snap was good, but it wasn't expected. So this didn't have anything to do with the weather. Evans was coming up to make a call, and Eric Gallo, the center, blasted him in the chest with it.
Well, the punter is not on the field. North Carolina hustles a 12th man off just in time to avoid a penalty. And now it's a quick kick. And a little bunt. And this is going to roll rather effectively inside the 20-yard line. This is a great quick kick by Evans. Or make that Greg Stroman, number 3, who came in for the quick kick. Poor field position. Smart decision by Justin Fuente. You know, the call for life jackets did not come out officially yet, but these two chaps are right on their game today here in the rainy conditions of Chapel Hill.
Taking no chances.
No, you're right. There are flash flood advisories out. You have Logan and Francis now. Chris Francis, the senior number 1, is in there at a co-tailback position. Second, Trubisky. Over the middle, and that pass came out odd. That did not look like a typical Mitch Trubisky pass. Trying to get it to Ryan Switzer. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
It might take a little while for him to get the feel of how this ball is going to come out of his hand.
Trubisky will throw again, and this pass.
Like it got tipped.
Yep, it did get tipped. A little bit of a swat by Nigel Williams, number 8. It'll be 3rd down and long. And
Nigel Williams, we talked to Bud Foster, defensive coordinator, and he said all his guys up front are playing really well. And in fact, he's 7-8 deep there, and 3 of those positions are really, they've changed who can start and who doesn't.
Almost getting the INT there is Brandon Faison.
That'd have been news.
Trubisky going long, and it is batted and picked at the 20-yard line. The catch made by Greg Stroman, and that breaks a interception streak of Trubisky's. He had gone 243 passes without a pick, and that streak has come to an end with Greg Stroman, his 3rd pick of the year.
And Trubisky was late with this throw. This is a timing throw on the outside, and that's one thing I didn't think I would say about him. He also got the ball in the air, and it sailed a little bit on him. And that was an ill-advised throw, trying to find Mac Hollins, but Stroman not only stepped in front and tipped it up, but had the wherewithal to reel it in and get the turnover, and the first interception for the Tar Heels this season.
This is the first interception in any game North Carolina has played this season. They haven't forced one, and they haven't picked one up.
And I agree with the call, Dave. To me, the play was over, and that's a big thing that I think there's a little bit of a change in how they're looking at it. The play's over, it's over. Okay, the ball comes out then, no big deal.
Empty backfield set. Evans, little run pass option into the end zone. Ford, and he can't hang on. The pass was a little high for the super talented receiver Isaiah Ford. It'll be 2nd down and 10, but boy, he was open.
This is a run pass option here for Evans, and he'll have a couple of guards actually pull out in front of him. I mean, that looked like run all the way, and it looked that way to North Carolina as well.
Now they will run the football with McMillan. He'll go up the middle, pick up 3 before Nazir Jones comes in with a stop.
This area of the field, they love to take shots to Isaiah Ford. We already saw the first attempt at it. And they'll open up the offense. You'll also see some trickeration down in this area of the field. And the guy that keyed it is Sam Rogers, number 45. He's up there on the top end of your screen in the slot by Isaiah Ford.
North Carolina runs a little pressure. They lob it for Hodges, fighting and making a dynamic catch, and he could not hang on. When he hit the ground, the ball popped out. MJ Stewart, number 6, was in coverage. So it'll be 4th down, and we're going to get our first field goal attempt on this rainy and windy day.
Hodges is 6'7". That's why they love to throw jump balls up to him. Now, he got himself around perfectly. That was actually knocked out. A great play by Stewart of just getting the hand in there and taking away that play.
That is 3 and outs for Gene Chizik's defense. And this 35-yard field goal attempt for Joey Sly, one of the best that Virginia Tech has ever had. And he hammers it through. That's 14 consecutive kicks for the junior from Stafford, Virginia. And the Hokies turned that turnover into 3 points. Line drive kick that'll go past Anthony Ratliff Williams. It'll be a touchback, and North Carolina takes over at the 25-yard line. So
unbalanced line here.
Handoff. This is Sam Rogers, and Sam Rogers won't get very much, maybe a yard. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Andre Smith in there on the stop. So in the conditions, Ray, North Carolina's already coughed it up twice.
Yeah, and it's all about, well, the first one was really an interception, a great play by Greg Stroman on a ball that floated on the quarterback Trubisky, and then the fumble caused by Faison, recovered by Edmonds, and that put us where we are right now here with this Virginia Tech position.
That was the first down so far today for Virginia Tech, and that was via penalty. They have not gotten one with a rush or a throw. Evans is a very good running quarterback, but a great lower leg tackle by Holcomb to wrestle him down maybe another yard. So this defense for the Tar Heels has been backed up the last 2 series, and they have risen up.
One of their issues has been getting off of blocks, and Holcomb does a nice job of controlling the block and then falling inside and making the tackle. Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator, talked about that being the point of emphasis this week, and after watching him on film, I understand why. So far, they've done a nice job of getting off blocks. Perfect example by Holcomb.
13 plays, 11 yards for Virginia Tech. Evans has a man open there. The catch is made. It's a first down. Cam Phillips, who today is wearing the honorary 25 for Frank Beamer, normally wears number 5, picks up 16, and another Virginia Tech first down.
They got Phillips open on a wheel route. He was the inside receiver, and he just looped around to the outside, and that's been an issue for this Tar Heel defense as well, the flat area, the perimeters.
Evans drops the football. He's going to have to scramble and ad-lib, and he gets it hard from behind by Jalen Dalton. And that is the second snap that hit the ground. One was just a case where Evans wasn't ready. That time it clearly hit him in the hands, and he could not hang on. It'll be second down and 11.
And that's dangerous trying to pick that thing up, too, because of the way we've seen it squirt around.
And now Virginia Tech slowing down the pace just a little bit here.
They tend to do this in the red zone area. They like to see what the defense presents, but this looks more like confusion to me.
Evans on the keeper, just really feeling his way around like a guy who can't find the light switch. And Aaron Crawford, number 92, stuffs him for a very short gain to the 11-yard line. It's going to be third down and 9.
And that is already the 5th carry of the afternoon for Gerard Evans. They are going to be heavy quarterback run because you don't want to risk handing off, and he can handle it. He can do it. Big kid at 6'3", 238 pounds. Not fun to tackle.
8th play of the drive, longest one for either team.
They like to throw fades to Bucky Hodges up here at the top.
Look in the other direction toward Ford. His pass is swatted down. Nazir Jones got a piece of that. And we will see the Virginia Tech field goal team again. So these are big wins in my mind, Ray, for the Tar Heel defense.
Oh, without a doubt. And keeping it to field goal attempts. And Jones, you know, if you can't get there, get your hands up. That's the second one today that he's gotten in there and affected a throw.
So Joey Sly, who booted one earlier, on for another attempt. Right behind him is the holder. The snapper is Colton Taylor. A lot of heat on those guys today. He's made 14 straight field goals. Sly, this one from 28. Make it 15 in a row. 2 turnovers by North Carolina, 6 Virginia Tech points, 5:23 remaining in this quarter. The Tar Heels defense keeping them in the game. This could be a lot worse than it already is. 6-love, Virginia Tech. This is Ratliff Williams at the goal line. Gets a couple of good blocks, a little bit of a seam opened up, and then shut down right at the 21-yard line. So Mitch Trubisky. Well, I tell you what, this Virginia Tech defense is stingy. Tremaine Edmonds, number 49, chopped him down.
Also, Adonis Alexander involved in the play. He ran a corner blitz off that short side, which is something Bud Foster likes to dial up from time to time.
Well, his approach this year, he has gone back to multiple fronts, multiple defenses, as opposed to a more conservative look last year, he told us.
He's got an offense this year.
This is Chris Francis, bobbing and weaving and getting to the 32-yard line for... Looking in his direction. Now Trubisky will take the dump-off pass to Logan, and he is hit, fighting for extra yardage, but he won't make it.
Man-to-man coverage on the play, and it was good job there by Tremaine Edmonds, who Bud Foster told us this is a kid that is going to be real good before it's over. I've seen flashes.
Well, he's been pretty good in this opening quarter. In fact, so is the entire Virginia Tech defense, being coached by that man right there, who took over in the mid-90s as defensive coordinator. And almost every year, Virginia Tech cranks out some of the nation's best defenses, and this year is no exception as they lead 6-0 after forcing 2 turnovers. About 3 hours away, the faithful from Blacksburg making the trip to Kenan Stadium. Well, we tell you tonight at 7 o'clock on ESPN. Number 1 Alabama, number 16 Arkansas. College football primetime presented by Hampton by Hilton, streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN. One of 3 games involving top 25 teams. This is one of them right here. Number 25 Virginia Tech, number 17 North Carolina. The other on ABC tonight, Florida State and Miami. Sheldon, line drive punt. We got a lot on this one. And into the end zone for a touchback, 20-yard line where Virginia Tech. So let's take a look at tonight's college football rankings, brought to you by Goodyear. Alabama number 1, we've talked about. Ohio State, Indiana in a battle. Tied at 3. Clemson, very impressive on the Friday night. Houston battling with Navy, as Cassidy mentioned to you. We got Michigan on a little bit later on tonight. Louisville gets a weekend off. And Texas A&M leading versus Tennessee, but Tennessee's a great come-from-behind team this year.
They've got them right where they want them.
That's another game involving top 10 teams. So we've got 4 going here, A&M and Tennessee as well. Trayvon McMillan, the tailback. And he'll get this dump-off pass, but North Carolina's waiting. Well, it seems at the moment, Ray, the defenses are not being fooled. Des Lawrence, number 2. Miles was in there as well. It's a loss of a yard. 2nd down and 11.
Yeah, these are the kind of games I used to love to play defense in, Dave, because the offense is limited in what they can do. They're not throwing the ball down the field, so you can pack the box. You can play run first and second, and sometimes even third. You gotta, you gotta understand what they're capable of doing and what they're not capable of doing. And right now, that's throwing it down the field.
This is McMillan trying to get outside, and he'll get an outside the 25 in these rainy conditions to the 26-yard line before he is dropped there.
Nice block out there.
Renee is shaken up after making the tackle.
Excuse me, Dave. Nice block out there by C.J. Carroll, allowing the back to get the edge. However, somebody is down on the field.
The freshman from Alexandria, Renee, who was in on the stop. We saw it first. The Virginia Tech medical staff took a quick look at him. Now the Tar Heels trainers are on. All right, it's not been very pleasant here at any. All right, it's not been very pleasant here anywhere in the state of North Carolina. We've heard problems in Raleigh, problems Duke is playing today, Wake Forest playing today. They're all getting hit by the remnants of Matthew, and we're certainly getting our share, maybe up to 6 inches of rain here, Ray, in Chapel Hill. I'm noticing some very conservative play calling.
Yeah, we are in the eye of it right now, is the way it looks. I was led to believe it was supposed to be calm in the eye of the storm. Not so
well,
much.
You're not really in the eye, technically. You don't really want to be in that, because that just means more bad is coming.
Right.
Incompletion there, and a flag following the incompletion. Yep.
Stroman did a nice job of selling it as he kind of just hit the ground. Corey Bell Jr. on the coverage.
Pass them first. Defense. Number 18. Automatic first down.
Really, that's been the most effective plays in the passing game have been defensive pass interference. And you can see he was a little bit over the back, and Bucky Hodges is a veteran. He can sell it if need be, and he did.
From the 35, 1st and 10 for the Hokies. Evans, first deep pass we've seen, going for Ford into double coverage, and he overthrows him. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
And I believe that was an intentional overthrow by Evans because of the double coverage. Their rule is that you know, it's like all the punts here. We're going to get it right down the field here, but they tell you that 100% of punts that are short miss. Well, it's kind of the same with the deep ball. 100% that are overthrown are incomplete, but I think that was intentional because they're coached up to give their guy a chance, but that was double coverage.
Evans on the design run. He gets a couple of blocks at the point of attack, but not enough. 1 yard pickup there. It'll be 3rd down and 9. That time Andre Smith, sophomore from Jacksonville, in there to lead the parade of tacklers for a Tar Heels defense that I don't think we've talked enough about today, Ray, of how good they have performed.
Yeah, they extremely well here today. Coming in, that was my concern when I look at this Tar Heel football team. The defense has struggled, in particular on the perimeter, but not today. And I see guys getting off blocks a lot better than I had going forward.
Well, they were not ready, and it's another faulty exchange.
That's the second time we've seen Evans come up to make a call, and Gallo snapped the football.
North Carolina has this one. The first turnover by the Hokies. Jalen Dalton came away with a football, and they'll take over at the 35-yard line of Virginia Tech.
And you see Evans is going up to make a check, and he got hit in the kneecap with the snap from Gallo. That's the second time today that this has happened to Virginia Tech, and they have to get that ironed out. And Gallo, he's their junior center who's had a lot of starts under his belt. He's not hearing something correctly.
Virginia Tech shifting their defense at the last second as Trubisky rolls under some pressure, throws back the other way, and it's going to be hit early, and Logan escapes down to the 25-yard line before he's hurled out of bounds by Motu Apuaka. But Logan with a remarkable escape to gain 12 on a first down.
You may not believe this, but football players get slippery just like the ball, and you're going to see Logan get hit and 2 guys slip off of him.
Now playing quickly, Logan, this time they stick to him. No gain on the play. 2nd and 10 coming up. And Reynolds in there. Yep, and Barron as well, number 60, a very good player.
I'm so impressed with Barron and the way he uses his hands to get off of blocks and get pressure, and he's got as quick a get off as anybody on this Virginia Tech defense.
Trubisky under a lot of pressure this time, dumps it, and it's caught. Logan coming back inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. That'll be a 6-yard pickup. They're going to mark him at the 18, actually. So it'll be 3rd down and 4.
One of the golden rules at quarterback is you don't throw it back against the grain. However, if you really see it and believe it like Trubisky did, you can make a nice play, and he did.
They swing it out instead to Logan, who's got to beat 2 men. Can't beat 1. Drop the pass anyway. Incomplete. Reynolds hit him right away. But by that time, Logan had already dropped the football. We're going to get a look at Nick Weiler, the field goal kicker, who was the big hero in the victory over Florida State.
That's the second drop pass of the day for the Tar Heels coming into the game. They were 2nd in the country, having dropped only 3 passes prior to this game, behind Indiana, who's number 1 with 2 drops.
So Weiler on this side of the field, we saw him warm up extensively, and he was hitting from the mid-40s. This one from 28.
Sands shirt, or was he wearing one?
And he had to hesitate there, but still made the kick.
Yeah, a little bit of a high snap. Great job by the holder, Kyle Murphy, to get that thing down.
So we've had turnovers resulting in nothing but field goals so far. Nobody has punched across 6, and North Carolina trails by 3. Rainy conditions here at Keenan, and at times almost sideways rain. In fact, that's kind of happening right now. The wind has been in and out. We haven't had the gust as high as 30 as first feared today, but the rain has been nonstop for hours. And Stroman fumbles it, gets it back. And he'll be stopped at the 30-yard line, carrying a couple of tacklers for some additional yardage. So pretty decent field position for Gerard Evans. And the issue between Evans and center Eric Gallo has got to be straightened out. I'm sure that was an intense conversation on the Virginia Tech sideline. Fake to McMillan over the middle. Pass batted down. Incomplete. Des Lawrence breaks it up. They are doing a good job on Isaiah Ford. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Great play by the senior Des Lawrence. He knew the route was coming. RPO, run pass option. Evans pulled it. Thought he had himself an inside move by the receiver, but Lawrence was all over him like a cheap suit.
5 pass breakups already for this Heels defense. Playing off the block by Rogers is McMillan. He'll pick up 3 as Andre Smith, number 10, in there on the stop. Sets up 3rd down and 7.
Nice job by Smith taking away the cutback. That was something I asked Coach Chiswick about because I saw some gaps in there that they were exploited both in their last couple of games, and they seem to have shored that piece of the puzzle up by moving the linebacker Smith out to the edge a little bit more.
1 out of 7 on third downs.
He wants to blitz. I can see it in his eyes.
He does. Gets through, but Evans goes the other way. Gets a big block downfield, and Evans fighting for first down yardage, and he will get it. "14 yards for Gerard Evans."
You're going to see the blitz. It's going to come in here, and then you're going to have another end loop around it. And that's how the pressure got in there. But Evans has a real knack for kind of wending his way through that traffic when he's in the pocket. And that's what running quarterbacks are good at. They've got that peripheral vision, that extra sense where they know where guys are coming from.
Evans will keep it. Another shifty move by the big quarterback who goes over 230 pounds. And he'll get into North Carolina territory even deeper. Smith and Holcomb on the stop. 16 yards. So he's gained 30 on the last 2 plays.
Little speed option to the weak side. And they got the lead block coming with Sam Rogers. He cleans people out. And Rogers is a big key to this offense in terms of his blocking as well as his ball carrying and receiving.
Evans ad-libbing. Is going to get rid of it wisely. Well, Gerard Evans has been a busy guy, Ray, but not so much throwing the football as he has been running it.
Right, got more carries than anyone else in this game. Has a little okey-doke move there on the speed option. He's going to have great vision here on this cutback. That got him a first down. And he's taken punishment, and none more than that hit right there from Smith, forcing that fumble on their last drive. He had 4 carries, 41 yards, but that fumble their previous drive.
He'll hand it off to McMillan, who will get hit hard. There's Andre Smith again, in concert with Jones to make the stop after a 5-yard pickup, setting up third down and 5.
Andre Smith, just a sophomore, and he is tuned in today. Now, in talking to Gene Chiswick, as you see Evans' numbers, he said sometimes he has to take Smith out of there just to get him to settle down a little bit, get him back on track. Have not seen him get out of the game today, and if he keeps playing this way, I doubt he'll come off the field. Blitz look here from the Tar Heel defense. See if they come.
They sit back instead. Evans, a little screener out of the backfield. McMillan trying to get to that marker. I think he did. He did get it. First down for the Hokies. Holcomb on the stop.
It looks to me like Evans has gotten a handle on the football a little bit better. That was a much better throw. I think he shortened his motion a little bit. You know, you think about it, if you really rear back, that gives that ball a lot more chance to fall out. So he has shortened his motion, and it's easy to do on these little throws. However, when you're going down the field with it, you've got to go back to the old way.
Going to go left again with McMillan. He'll pick up a couple. Well, Evans came to Justin Fuente after Fuente had noticed him at Trinity Valley Community College. He had actually had him at a camp when Fuente was at TCU working for Gary Patterson.
Right, way back when.
And then noticed that he had an outstanding year at Trinity. And when he got the job at Virginia Tech, that was one of the first players he brought in was Gerard Evans.
Yeah, he noticed he needed a quarterback, and he found himself a good one.
Going for it all right here, and the catch is made. Is he inbounds or out of bounds? It's a touchdown. It's Hodges on a great grab. And Virginia Tech with the first 6-pointer of the day, leading 12-3.
I want to see how Hodges did this. Staying inbounds, making the catch, and then getting in front of the pylon. I don't think it's a touchdown, and I'd have to see some more looks to determine if it's a catch. Got the ball, the foot is in, but he did not get inside that pylon. Now the pylon went down, and that was because of a leg.
Ruling on the field, there is that of a touchdown, there is no touchdown. We have a first down at the 1-yard line.
Yeah, I think they got that right. He didn't get it inside the pylon. That pylon went down from his knee.
Well, that's given Justin Fuente plenty of time to come up with another play here to go from the 1-yard line.
This is You know, Virginia Tech, it's quarterback run down here in a lot of cases.
Bill Evans has one rushing touchdown this year. That 28-yarder, by the way, the longest play we've had today. Fake to Phillips. Evans, little pop pass. Touchdown. They get the 6 anyway. Caught by Chris Cunningham, the tight end.
Great play call right there. The defense is thinking what I'm thinking. Quarterback's going to run. They set it up, and they have him get to the edge. The defense commits, and there is nobody home for Cunningham to cover him, and the Hokies capitalize on the long play brought in by Hodges.
So it takes 6 plays, 41 yards, and 1 minute and 55 seconds for Virginia Tech to get the first touchdown on this rainy day in Keenan. Every kick is a little bit scary today. Sly has handled it well. Game while North Carolina heads to the dressing room to dry off and try to figure out a game plan to crack that Virginia Tech defense. Our score at the half, Virginia Tech 13, North Carolina 3. We will send you to the halftime report after these messages. And the rain and wind continues as you're watching the ACC on ESPN here from Kenan Stadium in Chapel Hill. Brutal conditions for these two teams to play in, but one team has managed it better than the other, and it's the visitors from Blacksburg who lead 13-3 in this important ACC coastal battle. So the number says Virginia Tech has managed this bad weather better. How have they done it?
Well, they've taken advantage of field possession. You know, they've had 3 drives start in North Carolina territory, and they've scored all their points on those drives. Now, how they got there, they made timely plays on defense, including turnovers, and then their special teams have been solid. And they continue to do that. It's going to be a tough game for Carolina to come back with this wet football.
Yeah, Gerard Evans actually has more yards, the quarterback for Virginia Tech, than North Carolina does as a team. And he has thrown the 1 touchdown pass that's given Virginia Tech the 13-3 advantage. It has rained since about 7, 8 o'clock this morning. It's not forecast to stop for another few hours when it will finally come to an end. And it seems to us that during halftime, the breeze picked up a little bit too. And it's been kind of a swirly wind here at Kenan.
Yeah, all my papers flew off my desk was my first indication.
Kudos to the fans, the students, those from Blacksburg who were here to root on for the Hokies, and those in Chapel Hill and the surrounding areas who have stuck it out with giving their rain gear a workout. North Carolina will get the ball first. That is the situation. It's going to come to an end soon, and our best thoughts to those who have been affected by Matthew. I know it's been particularly tough today in South Carolina, and Florida and Georgia also took some strong hits as well. A touchback. North Carolina will take over at the 25-yard line. The Tar Heels playing today without Elijah Hood, so they turn to both Chris Francis, who has it now, and TJ Logan, and Francis with a nice run, getting it out to the 33-yard line for a gain of 8 before Chuck Clark brings him down. 2nd down and 2.
TJ Logan, even though Francis is in there now, has been close to breaking one day. I would not be surprised if they get a home run out of him before this game's over.
As they run behind the fullback. Oh, the ball's out. Virginia Tech has it. That's Barron dragging Logan down to the 21-yard line. Another turnover picked up by the Hokies.
And that was an exchange deal between Trubisky and TJ Logan. And that's another problem with a slippery football. I think Trubisky made a late decision in terms of pulling it out. And Logan thought he was keeping it. And so that's a hard thing, and it makes it even more difficult when the ball is wet and it can slide off of you.
I would say I thought they were running that little handoff to the left-hand side. I was surprised to see that Trubisky held on to the ball, then ultimately did not. So another turnover, and here's something to what you just said, Ray. Here's Virginia Tech in position to score once again, starting the drive in Tar Heels territory.
They are 3 for 3 in scoring when they start in plus territory.
Our first look this half at Gerard Evans. Carries out a fake, guns it down the middle. Caught, Rogers, touchdown! One-play drive.
And this is against a cover 2, and Sam Rogers just splits the middle, runs right past the linebacker Andre Smith. And you know what, Rogers is a sneaky guy, and they snuck him in there and sent him down the field. This is a nice little read, little throw. I mean, pitch and catch. The safety shows up late. That's Miles making the hit. but it was cover 2, and there was nobody home in the middle.
6 seconds to make North Carolina pay for the turnover.
Sam Rogers talking to Virginia Tech. Keeps their record perfect, 4 for 4. When they take over in positive territory, they come up with points. And this time it's 7.
A little first aid for North Carolina quarterback Mitch Trubisky. Nothing serious. Well, what's serious is the hole that North Carolina is in here at Kenan Stadium, where they have won 9 in a row. But Virginia Tech is a streak-breaking team, and they've won 5 of the last 6 in this house. And Sly will stir it up again with another touchback. 3 touchdown catches for Rogers this year on 6 receptions. They will pitch it out to Logan. Got a nice little block there, but Virginia Tech has read just about everything that North Carolina has done, and that's going to be a short gain. Trevon Hill, number 94 in there. Redshirt freshman from Virginia Beach. Largest deficit this season. North Carolina came back from 13 to beat Pitt in a thriller almost at the last second.
Don't sleep on North Carolina. They've come back to win their last couple games late. So
pass is deflected, though. Getting in there was Kenny Canham. And they're going to make sure that that was not a lateral, but it's ruled an incomplete pass. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, Canham knocked it backwards, but it was coming forward. So it is a forward pass, just a swat by Canham.
The thing that's missing from this North Carolina offense is the threat of Ryan Switzer, who is playing but just not seeing many touches. And also Elijah Hood, their number 1 tailback, whose power running style would have helped in these conditions. You take a look at Switzer there.
Only had 4 targets today. That blows my mind. That's on the coaching staff.
And just 2 catches for 2 yards. Time for Trubisky. Now it breaks down. He throws it. Switzer drops it. He's dropped 2.
You know, when we were talking about this game and how Trubisky's completion percentage, leading the nation and all those things, and we were talking about his accuracy, and I said, yeah, but his receivers don't drop balls. They've dropped 5 today. They had 3 drops coming in. And I know it's the weather and all that stuff, but hey, you got to handle it. They have not.
Greg Stroman, who has a punt return touchdown. And then he drops the ball at the 5-yard line. He's going to have to eat this, and he does inside the 5 at the 3. He'll find that on YouTube also, and he won't want to watch it.
And he made an error of actually, instead of moving and getting in front of the ball, he reached out with his hands. When it's this slippery, you have to move your body in front of it in case something like that happens. You have another chance to catch it. Instead, he reaches outside of his frame to make this catch.
But look who comes in.
Boy, right off his chest.
Wearing the 25 to make the tackle. Cam Phillips. That's Frank Beamer's number, and they wear the 25. Player on special teams is selected during the week. Stroman wore it 2 weeks ago and ran it back, punt back for a touchdown. Now Phillips comes up with that tackle at the 4-yard line. 5th time Virginia Tech's going to start a drive in North Carolina territory. Jet sweep. It's Phillips. Stopped short at the 1.
Tried to outflank this defense, this Carolina defense. And you know, once you run this jet sweep, which they did now to Phillips, that gets in the head of the defense. So now you show that action again and pull it. Now you've got play action opportunities, or Evans carrying the football. It sets up a nice little series of potential plays.
So you've got McMillan, the tailback. It's Evans, straight keeper. Hit at the goal line, and I don't think he made it. He did not make it. Donnie Miles, number 15, hit him. 3rd down and inches.
That's a great play by Miles, who is a safety who often finds himself up in the box, and he plays it like a linebacker. And Gene Chizik told us that's where he's really actually more comfortable. And you can see why, as he made Evans uncomfortable.
Same combo here. Evans will work for a deeper snap. Hands to McMillan. He's hit right away, and NC makes the stand. Dominique Green, the safety, led the parade, number 26. What do you do here on 4th and goal? Do you go for a big knockout punch right now?
Absolutely.
All right, let's see. I don't see Justin Fuente jabbing here. He wants to go for the haymaker.
Absolutely. I like this. That's what you do. The guy I'd run behind, though, once again, would be Sam Rogers, number 45. He's set right in here.
They do run behind him. Evans is in. Touchdown on 4th down for the Hokies.
Walked in. Great surge up front. Wyatt Teller had his man blocked 5-6 yards deep into the end zone.
Virginia Tech has blown it open.
Yeah, 5 times they've started a drive in Tar Heel territory. 2 touchdowns, 3 field goals. That's just an outstanding job. Also, Nijman, the right tackle, he collapsed the entire side there, and that created the space.
Well, we've had one drive that lasted 6 seconds. We've had one drive that went 4 yards. And Virginia Tech has taken a 27-3 lead over North Carolina. And Sheldon, who could not handle the punt snap.
Here's what started this whole thing. Ball on the ground. You get the tackle there by Phillips, and it puts Virginia Tech in business, and they capitalize once again on field position to take what, boy, I know there's a lot of time left, but in these conditions,
yeah, that's what I was going to say.
North Carolina needs to strike fast to get back into this and get a semblance of confidence.
We mentioned the Pitt comeback, but that was under pristine conditions. But Virginia Tech, you don't really want to invite them into your home very often. On the road versus the AP rankings, they've won 3 in a row since 2010, and they're 7-1.
When we talked to the staff yesterday for Virginia Tech, you could feel their energy, and I think Justin Fuente is the perfect guy to bring into this program, and he re-energized defensive coordinator Bud Foster.
And bad field position coming up for North Carolina. We have flags down. But you see the score is what matters most. Under 3 minutes in this 3rd quarter with the Hokies in front by 24. Pitched out to T.J. Logan. Brought down by, once again, Matua Puwaka after a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Matua Puwaka is one of those sideline to sideline guys where they stick him in the middle and you can't get away from him.
Logan. You see some of that speed, but again, this field has held up stunningly well for the nonstop rain we've had for about 7 hours. As Reynolds in there on the stop longer than 7 hours. And you take a look, that's the long snapper, Colton Taylor, just irritated.
Beating himself up.
No, one of the snaps came out a little low. That one came out a little high.
Have not seen downfield shots from this Carolina offense. And we have seen them on the other end. Tech has taken a few. I think that's an error by the play calling in terms of not getting this defense moved back. Even if you don't complete it, at least you move it back. You put something in their minds.
On 2nd and long, they stay on the ground. There's a good-looking run here for Logan. Logan puts a foot in the ground, and he gets knocked out of bounds around the 20-yard line by Tremaine Edmonds.
Logan has great acceleration. That's why I mentioned earlier I wouldn't be surprised to see him pop one because of the fact that he's coming forward and defenders have to react, and it's a little bit slippery. And if he gets through that first wave, look out.
And playing with a little bit of speed here, and they're going to get nothing. In fact, lose a yard back to the 20-yard line. Mahota stuffed that play. A lot of teams, Ray, another new trend is when you get a big play in a 1st down, teams will sometimes run to that line of scrimmage and try to get another play off quickly.
And a lot of times with these teams, they repeat that same play, and that's an easy one-word call real quick. Everybody knows what to do. You can line up and roll. They also have a series of one-word calls in their package if they want to mix it up.
9 tackles for a loss for this Virginia Tech defense. Quick turnaround, incomplete, 15-yard line. Prohl, the intended receiver. It'll be 3rd down and 11. You're talking about one of the best 3rd down defenses in the nation, giving up only 20%, Virginia Tech, and today 2 of 12, North Carolina on 3rd down.
You see the guy over there in that underneath passing lane? That's the right defensive end, Kenny Canham. A great call by Bud Foster, anticipating that and sending a defensive end to the flat to play defense, play coverage. That's good stuff.
Trubisky fires it toward the end zone, knocked away by Stroman, intended for Switzer.
Great timing by Stroman and getting in there and making the hit and knocking the ball loose, because Switzer had beaten Edmonds.
4th and 11.
That looks like touchdown until, and what a great job of Stroman of not getting there. He got there early, but he avoided contact, got up underneath and knocked it away.
That was 57 plays for North Carolina, 29 pass attempts, 28 on the ground. 4th and 11. Little pressure up the middle. Trubisky escapes, throws it over the middle. It is almost caught by Prohl. That would have been an unbelievable catch, but Motua Pawaka was there. And it's going to be 1st down, Virginia Tech. They hold them on downs once again.
And another pressure from Coach Foster's defense. It was Anthony Shagog who just came open unblocked off the outside edge. And you see the result now. Trubisky was able to get away. Boy, you're right. What an almost grab by Prohl. And those are the kind of plays that we've been seeing this Tar Heel offense make prior to this week. And maybe all that's caught up with them. When you go, as many games as they did and only dropped 3 passes, you're due. And the due factor came due today.
0 for 4, 4th downs for the Tar Heels. Marshawn Williams with a very short gain of a couple of yards there. Andre Smith drove him back. Well, one thing, Ray, I've noticed is it doesn't seem like the North Carolina receivers are getting any separation.
No, and give a lot of credit to this secondary, and that's another thing Bud Foster has a great advantage of. He's got guys that can cover down so that you can afford to keep enough people in the box to do the various things that they like to do in terms of mixing things up. And 3 of those secondary members are seniors. They understand the schemes, and when you have guys that know what to do, and a coach, Bud Foster, who has got a deep playbook, you can throw a big mix on an offense.
That is the end of the 3rd quarter. Virginia Tech takes advantage of North Carolina mistakes and puts up 2 touchdowns. Gerard Evans and the Hokies are the clear leaders in this one, 27-3 in a critical ACC coastal battle between number 17 North Carolina and number 25 Virginia Tech. This is the ACC on ESPN. It has been awful all day long here. We welcome you to the ACC on ESPN, Kenan Stadium. Virginia Tech beating North Carolina 27-3. We'll take a look at today's Pacific Life game summary.
And really, it's been about Virginia Tech taking advantage of the field position that they've got. North Carolina has not helped themselves. The takeaways have led to points just about every single time. And I tell you, the more I watch, I am extremely impressed with this Virginia Tech football team.
Well, there may be a reason their last couple of games were blowout victories. 7-yard gain there.
Show you that last play again. Just a little fake to the outside, keep by Phillips on the edge.
3rd and very short, as Evans will get a 1st down on the carry. There's a sense that Florida State is struggling defensively, and I think there's more than a sense of that if you look at some of the troubles they've had. And in Brad Kaaya, you've got one of the country's best quarterbacks, and although this ACC is loaded with great quarterbacks this year.
And Evans continues to impress with his ability to run the football and make a play when there's nothing there. And he's not like your everyday quarterback that's going to try and find a place to fall down. He's going to fight you for every yard he can get. And that's great, but gosh, you want to keep him healthy, and that's the biggest concern Coach Fuente has.
Pick up a 3. Evans in some trouble, and he's down at the 41-yard line. A sack by Nazir Jones, the junior from Roanoke Rapids, North Carolina. Nazir Jones.
And interestingly, they pulled both guards again. They were trying to set up one of those play action passes that really wasn't a run pass option. That was pass all the way. But Naz Jones said, no, you don't.
They'll take this almost certainly under 9 minutes.
And I'm sure Coach Fuente thinks that a punt after this drive will be a good play for him.
Will it? Remember the last two?
Well, I take that back.
Evans is going to be brought down, so they're going to bring the punt team out. Jeremiah Clark on the stop. You know what did work earlier was the short punt game with Stroman.
And the reason that works is because there's always the chance that they could go for it.
Yeah.
In this situation, you're not going to see it, but they did chew up 7 minutes off the clock, and, you know, fumbling around.
Well, they'll bring in Ludwig out. He's had trouble with snaps. Everything looks smooth here, though. And he gets off a nice kick. Oh, he crushed this.
Once the ball crosses the plane of the end zone, it's a touchback. It doesn't matter where the bodies are, the people are. It's all about the ball.
Well, Mitchell Ludwig ripped it 58 yards, his longest punt of the season. You know, when you're on the road as the visiting band, sometimes you don't always get the best seats. Take a look at where the Virginia Tech band is sitting. I just can't imagine, how do you handle all that rain with the tubas?
Yeah. You need that snorkel that guy had on the shot.
The life vests we've seen. And underneath and intercepted, another turnover by North Carolina. Motua Pawaka gets the INT.
And this is just a poor decision, which is a rare phenomenon for Mitch Trubisky, but it does kind of capitalize or caption exactly what he's had happen for him today. And I mean, this, you see the linebacker Motua Pawaka. I mean, he was right in position. I do not know how Trubisky did not see him, but he threw it right there in his vicinity and underthrew the ball. And that just kind of, I don't know, puts the final nail on this Carolina offense. Really struggled here this afternoon.
4 turnovers
and 129 total yards.
And they go to C.J. Carroll on the jet sweep, and Carroll's going to be very close to a first down if he doesn't have it. And he does. Aaron Crawford was helped off the field. Hopefully he'll be able to get back, if not today, next week when the Tar Heels play at Miami. On the 19-yard line, first down for Virginia Tech. They have dominated the time of possession in rainy and miserable conditions, and Alex Cordry has stood through it all.
We have seen more than 6 inches of rain here since midnight, and it's starting to get a little lighter than it was earlier, but it keeps coming down. It seems like it's not letting up. Dave, how's that press box up there?
You know, we've had a couple of drops blown in, and our papers moved once in the wind, but otherwise the lunch was delicious, and we've had a lovely time up here.
We have been thinking about you, though.
Yeah, there we are.
I appreciate that.
Yep, there we are, Alex. You probably had to hide your monitor so nobody would get electric shock, but yeah, we're fine up here. Thank you.
We're fine, and this Tech rushing game is fine. 80% of the plays they've run today, 73 plays, 56 of them have been rushes.
Now the whole team looks fine because their defense has been opportunistic and completely focused despite these miserable conditions as Tech gets inside the 10. The extra hard running by McMillan gets inside the 5. And Virginia Tech now just rolling downhill, a gain of 10.
Yeah, they've broken the will of the Tar Heels. I mean, you can see it. It's obvious. Tech is playing harder right now than what UNC is. And you see the numbers I was referring to in play selection. That is a whole lot of running going on.
You know, if you're a Virginia Tech fan, you were so used to the Beamer way, and you were wondering, okay, you brought in his coach. He had a nice little run at Memphis, which is not a Power 5 school. What's going to happen when he gets into the ACC and inherits a program that's, you know, had a Hall of Fame head coach? And we're finding out through the first 5 games, as it's going to be another touchdown for Virginia Tech and Trayvon McMillan, that perhaps Virginia Tech made the right decision in hiring Justin Fuente.
Oh, and he ran right up behind Sam Rogers again. And you know, we were talking to Gene Chizik, the defensive coordinator of North Carolina, and he said Sam Rogers is as tough as boots. Now, I hadn't heard that one before, but I did appreciate it because I got some tough old boots. And Sam Rogers led the way again, clearing the way for McMillan to get in there.
So McMillan on the day, 76 yards and a touchdown. This is turning into a nearly flawless performance for Virginia Tech.
Here's the touchdown. Sam Rogers gets one block and then kicks out and gets another block, paving the way for McMillan to get himself into the end zone.
It's the cool of the evening. If you're the Hokies, they're going to enjoy this bus ride back to Blacksburg. Try that poor guy out in that costume.
I bet he weighs about 400 pounds.
I can't even imagine how that is. Tonight, we've got a lot more to talk about as this kick is hooked OB. That'll be a penalty and mark at the 35-yard line. The last time they have not put up 6 points was against their rivals NC State in Raleigh. They lost 13-0. With 6:13 to go, Trubisky leads them back out one more time, along with Jordan Brown, number 2. The running back they did not even plan on using this season, but with Hood out, Brown had his red shirt taken off for this one.
He's getting a literal baptism here.
And yeah, and it's a painful one as he is hit after a 2-yard gain.
I just mentioned Elijah Hood, their leading rusher, coming in averaging 5 yards per carry, the 4 touchdowns. And he was the guy, he was not only their best pass protector as a running back, but their best runner between the tackles. And that's where they have struggled. I mean, the rushing game has not been good at all. 73 yards on the ground for the Tar Heels.
This will be a fairly short gain for Jake Vargas, a redshirt freshman at the tight end out of Boca Raton, Florida. Reynolds in there on the stop. Another player that North Carolina has missed almost the entire season, Brandon Fritz, their tight end, also out of Mentor, Ohio. Barely, he's played, I think, 2 plays all year. He's been just nicked up and not able to go again today.
Tech changing their coverage and their calls while UNC does the same thing.
3 seconds to snap it. Missed everything that time. That's just not the same Mitch Trubisky that we saw in previous games. He's normally been deadly accurate. That time he just missed Hollins badly.
Not only that, his footwork on that last one was horrible. That's the worst I've seen him look. The hips were open too much. The back foot came up off the ground. It seems like his technique has gone away with the wind.
13 for 33, 58 yards and 2 interceptions. C.J. Carroll back deep to receive this punt. First time Trubisky has had 2 interceptions against him in a game in his career. It's a pretty good kick. He's going to check up and actually die right at the 20-yard line. So nice job there by Tom Sheldon. So Virginia Tech in command. They're on their way to 2-0 in the ACC.
Get it.
They brought in Brendan Motley, now number 9, into mop-up duty. And a good run there by Shy McKenzie, number 28, getting his first touches. Gerard Evans, the junior from Dallas, was an outstanding player at Trinity Valley Community College, the MVP of the Southwest Junior College Football Conference in 2015.
And he came in right from day one and showed a great attitude. Coach Fuente said he couldn't be happier with the way the kid took over. And they said the first time he saw him run through the bags, because he knew that he was athletic, he said it was an eye-opener to him. He did not realize how nimble this big kid is. He said, whoa, we might have something here. And indeed they do.
Certainly looks like it. McKenzie will get a first down for the Hokies. Let's go to...
And 107 against everybody else.
Yep, that's correct.
Tech has been in this 4-minute offense mode where you're trying to control time of possession, keep the ball on the ground, and mitigate any possible turnovers. And they've been very good at it and continue to dominate in terms of time of possession. 15 minutes more than what the Tar Heels have.
Well, they have scored 20 points off of 4 North Carolina turnovers. Tech has turned the ball over twice, but only 3 points for the Tar Heels off those 2 mistakes. So McKenzie again running through some nice holes as Virginia Tech's offensive line, whether they're first or second stringers out there, getting the job done. Third down and a little less than a yard for Brendan Motley, a redshirt senior from Christiansburg, Virginia.
Motley more of a running quarterback himself and not a small man either at 6'4", 230.
McKenzie will bounce off. He'll get a first down and a little bit more added on to that. Well, this was a big game for the ACC Coastal Division. North Carolina, the defending champions of that division. They lost to Clemson in the ACC title game. This is where the standings as we came into the day. Miami trying to get to 2-0. North Carolina is going to drop to 2-1. Virginia Tech will become the de facto leader at 2-0. Pitt beat Georgia Tech today. And Duke is in a non-conference battle just down the road against Army, and they were leading that one 13-6 in the fourth quarter. And it's a final. Duke has beaten Army. And that's a victory formation for Virginia Tech and a sweet victory for Justin Fuente on the road at Kenan Stadium. So there'll be no Gatorade bath after this game.
Not necessary. Everyone got a nice shower all afternoon. This well could be the last snap. Now they're going to have to snap it one more time before this thing runs out.
Well, again, the Hokies will head up to the Dome, play at Syracuse on the 15th against Dino Baber's squad. And North Carolina doesn't get a lot easier. They go to Miami for a Saturday afternoon game.
And you just saw a look of Coach Fuente on the sideline, and that was him being effusive.
Yes. Not a lot of fist pumping going on.
But he's happy.
Bud Foster's a little more outgoing with his emotions, and I can't imagine he's probably the happiest guy in the stadium with the way his guys responded. A dominating win by Virginia Tech. They played well to the conditions as the rain is starting to slow down, as Alex mentioned, and Virginia Tech has run away with this game, improving to 4-1. We'll be back with more from Kenan after this.